So you're feeling pretty good about yourself about now, right? You ended an 18-month relationship where there were several breaches of trust that just could not be repaired. And so you've done the healing work. You've healed your heart from the heartbreak. You've taken the lessons learned. And so you feel ready and empowered to get out there and start dating again. So you create your online dating profile and you let your friends and family know that you are single and honey, you are ready to mingle. And it's been about 3 or 4 months. You're out here dating, meeting all these different men, but no one seems to meet your criteria and you're wondering what you're doing wrong. I want you to explore a thought with me. What if all your checklists of the things you should be looking for and all your questions are being led from a place of fear and not from a place of intuition? Could it be that your intent on trying to keep yourself safe, trying to date smarter this time, is actually hindering you from meeting the man that God has for you? Hi, my name is Sharika Matthews, life coach and relationship expert. And today I want to explore this topic with you of fear versus your intuition. If you are a woman who's in her 30s, 40s, or 50s, chances are you've had your share of heartbreak, right? And we have dated certain men and we've learned our lessons and we try to take those lessons forward into our new dating experiences and our new relationships as a way to be smarter, as a way to protect our hearts from getting taken advantage of again. But instead, it seems as if we can't meet a man who's able to penetrate those walls. We can't meet a man who meets our high standards and love us the way we want to be loved. But what could be happening is we are letting the fear of getting hurt again drive our actions, drive our thoughts, drive how we physically show up into these relationships, and not letting our intuition or letting the Spirit of God lead us down the best pathway for our relationships. Could it be? Let's explore this first. As always, let's lay down some definitions. What is intuition? Because that's something that we hear all the time, and how women's intuition is a big thing, but sometimes we don't always understand what that big thing is and how it really shows up in our daily lives. And this definition of intuition, I really love it because it captures what it is and how it shows up in our lives. So intuition is defined as the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. Let me repeat that. Intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. Intuition points us in the direction of the best pathway for our lives, even if we feel uncertain about it. That is intuition. Intuition is an understanding that you cannot explain, that happens almost immediately when you meet a person. It happens immediately when you walk into a room. It happens immediately when you pick up a phone or you see a person's profile or you see that person walking past you on the street. It's an understanding that comes from a place you don't really know. And you don't, and there is no reasoning in your mind. There is no thinking things through and pros and cons and all of this. It is a knowing that comes from within. But that knowing actually leads us down the best pathway for our lives, even though we feel uncertain about the pathway that our intuition is leading us. So we end up going to fear. And fear, here's the definition of fear. If you've been with me for a while, you've heard this definition before. Fear is a distressing emotion that's aroused from impending danger or pain, whether that threat is real or imaginary. Let me repeat that. Fear is a distressing emotion that's aroused by impending danger or pain, whether or not that threat is real or imagined, and that fear leads us to a decision that offers relief or safety. Think about that. You see, fear happens in our emotions and it happens in our minds to make a decision to keep us safe. And when we're safe, we feel that safety net, we're not always following our intuition down the best pathway for our lives, because the best pathway has us climbing up this winding road on a mountain with no lights, no guardrails, and no driver. We got to walk the thing all by ourselves. We ain't never done it before. And I feel uncertain about it. Like, really, why do I have to walk up this trail? Why do I have to walk up this mountain that looks bigger than any mountain that's ever been built before? Like, why do I have to do this? And so we end up talking ourselves out of that intuition, out of that spirit-led or spirit-inspired, that spirit-inspired understanding, spirit-inspired decision that could lead us down the pathway of our lives. While I am a big proponent of learning from our past, I am a big proponent of having an understanding of what we're looking for in our future mates. I am a big proponent of having questions that I need to ask within the first 2 or 3 days to make sure I understand who this person is. I am also a huge proponent of leaving enough room for our intuition to speak to us in a way that we hear it and receive it. And so while I am proud of you for leaving that relationship that was toxic, for leaving that relationship that was going nowhere, for leaving that relationship that did not honor you, I am proud of you for doing that. And I am proud of you for doing the work to heal your pain and to do the things that you need to do to make sure that you don't find yourself in that situation again. But I also want to encourage you to lean back a little and leave space for your intuition to speak to you, because the intuition comes in a split second. Your intuition is literally a still small voice. It's a feeling, it's a voice in your subconscious, in the back of your consciousness that says, yes, do this. Yes, give that man your number. No, do not go down that alley with that man. Or no, this is not the right person for you, even though he looks good on paper, even though he meets all of your checklists, even though he answers all your questions perfectly, this is not the right man for you. Your intuition will give you all of that. So if you are wondering where you're going wrong in your dating life, I ask you to take a step back and look at your decisions. Look at the stuff that you made over the past few months with dating and ask yourself, how much of this was led by your intuition? Are you in tune with the voice of your intuition? Do you know what that sounds like? Do you know what it feels like when it shows up in your gut? And how often do you listen to your intuition? How often do you honor your intuition, even though you are uncertain about the why? And this is an area that I truly have struggled with most of my life, because I'm a why girl. Like, I ask why all the time because I feel like I need to understand. But when I learn to accept that understanding may not come right now, and that my understanding may not always have the reason that I desire, I find comfort in knowing that I'll figure it out later. Meaning that if my intuition tells me, no, don't do that, I will accept it, even though I don't understand it, because it looks good to me. That's $1 million check on the table. So you really want me to walk away from this? Okay, God, I'm gonna walk away from this and go over here. But I'm expecting you to tell me later on why I had to leave $1 million on the table. And when I found out, 2 years later, that there was a $5 million check over here that I needed to pick up that I would not have gotten if I had accepted that $1 million check 2 years earlier. That's what I mean. Trusting yourself to trust your intuition to lead you down the best pathway for your life, even if you feel uncertain about the pathway, instead of relying on your fears to keep you safe, because your fears may keep you safe. The decisions that are made from a place of fear may keep you safe, but it won't lead you down the best pathway for your life. So again, I encourage you to take a moment this week and really examine where you are between your fear and your intuition, and then work on identifying your intuition, getting more familiar with your intuition, and then just writing down, just documenting in your journal when you heard your intuition, what you thought it said, and then whether or not you listened to it, and then what was the consequences of it. That's a good way to kind of hone in on what your intuition sounds like and feels like, so that you are your ears are sharpened and more in tune with your intuition more than it is with your fears. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me here today. If this video was a blessing to you, I want you to leave a comment below and let me know. But most importantly, share this video with someone else who you think may need it. All right, you guys, until we meet again, I want you to continue to be bold, walk in your brilliance, and be completely unstoppable in the pursuit of what your heart desires in your life and in your relationships. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.